All right, all right. So I am back. I know it's been a minute, but let's get this party started. We are going to do some of our lovely Black history facts, and this is going to be exciting, something a little different that I wanted to try. Instead of just coming on here to do my podcast to talk, I wanted to use my platform to speak about some amazing women. I started out doing this where I was picking random cards, and then I stopped for a minute because I had some personal things going on. And so today I'm coming to you, and we're going to turn it up a little bit because we're going to go through a lot of cards, and we're going to learn together and talk about some things. Because if you learn something new today, I want you to drop it in the comments. If you knew something that wasn't added to the card, I want you to drop it in the comments. Because here at Strength and Struggle, the way we learn is by educating ourselves. Sorry, you guys saw a little bit, a little bit of Detroit come out of me. But anyway, so let's get down to it. Okay, so I've already shuffled my cards, right? And if anybody is wondering what cards I am reading from, I bought my daughter a pack of cards a while ago, and they are called I think it's the 53. This is version 2 of the 53. It's the Black History flashcards, number 53, volume 2, and it speaks about different women of Black history. So there's actually a few decks of this, okay? So just in case anybody's wondering, where did she get that from? So the first person I'm going to speak about is Amy Jaquez Garvey, born December 31st, 1895, and died July 25th, 1973. Pioneering journalist, publisher, and advocate for the improvement of African American lives through Black nationalism. Born into an interracial upper class family in Jamaica, where she was formally educated. Second wife of Marcus Garvey, leader of the United Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA, the largest African American and Pan African movement of all times. Published 2 books of her husband's writings and served as editor on the Negro World. Continued her husband's work after he went to prison, speaking nationally on the importance of Black nationalism, separation from European society, and African independence. That is Amy Jaquez Garvey. The next person I'm going to speak on is Soraya Bonley, born December 15th, 1973, still alive to this day. At least that's what we believe from the cards. But 1973, child, she's still alive. She got some time on her hands. She is an award-winning French figure skater and a PETA activist. The only Olympic gold figure skater to successfully land a backflip on one skate blade. Originally trained as a gymnast, but switched to figure skating at the age of 11. Rose above many challenges in her career, including breaking both wrists during a fall and rupturing her Achilles tendon during practice. Was famous for her jumps and risky moves, as well as her bold and unusually colored costumes. Removed her silver medal during the ceremony at the 1994 World Championships because she believed she should have won first place instead of second. Became an American citizen in 2004 and is a proud vegetarian and advocate for animal rights. That is Soraya Bonley. Next person, a lot of people are very familiar with this one. Oprah Winfrey, born January 29th, 1954. Fun fact, she's 10 years older than my mother, exactly 10 years older than my mother. She is a media network owner, talk show host, actress, producer, and philanthropist. Listed by Forbes as the richest African American and one of the only 10 Black billionaires in the world as of 2017. Best known for hosting the highest rated talk show in history from 1986 to 2011. Nominated for an Academy Award for the Best Supporting Actress in her role in The Color Purple, one of the many movies she has starred in and or produced. Supports charitable projects and nonprofit organizations around the world through her organization, Oprah's Angel Network. Gave over $400 million to educational purposes and opened a school for girls in South Africa in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, Oprah Winfrey. The next person we're going to talk about is Wilma Rudolph. Born June 23rd, 1940, died November 12th, 1994. Wilma Rudolph is a track star, Olympic champion, and educator. Well, was, I'm sorry. She contracted polio at the age of 4 and lost the use of her left leg, but eventually regained her strength thanks to her family's dedication to providing a massage therapy at home. Refused to let her disability stop her and became the first African American woman to win 3 gold medals in track and field during the 1960 Summer Olympic Games in Rome. Refused to participate in the 1964 Olympic Games because she felt she could not match her 1960 success. Retired in 1963 and became a school teacher and coach after finishing her college degree in education. Ladies and gentlemen, Wilma Rudolph. Powerful, right? So I'm going to pause for a second because we have so many people that ask all the time, or assume, should I say, Black women feel like they're owed something. Black women feel like they're different than everybody else. That's because Black women are. And truth be told, everybody is different in some type of way. But Black women have continuously been put up against a scale, or should I say, held to a higher standard than anyone else. If you are a Black woman and you are entering into a workforce, let's say for instance you are a Black woman and you just got your law degree. You graduated top of your class from Harvard Law School. You are now an intern and you're trying to get into this big law firm. But there is a white male and a Black male who also graduated from Harvard, but they were not top of the class. They are Harvard graduates. That white man has already been looked at from a different point of privilege of saying he is a Harvard graduate. We need him. That Black man is the second one in line to be looked at as he is a Harvard graduate. We need him. But that Black woman, top of her class, mind you, is going to be looked at as, okay, well, we have another Harvard graduate, but I guess she's good at such and such. We'll see. Let's fill her out. The stakes are already set so high for you. The bar is unattainable at times. If you are late, if you have an off day, because we all have them, If you are going through your female monthly situation and you just don't want to be bothered, that all becomes strikes against you because they've already looked at you like, oh, she's just another Harvard graduate. Not, no, she is one of the top Harvard graduates from this law school. She deserves this position before anyone else that comes in line. No, we have to be better, be more prepared, look the part plus the part of the non parts, be attainable, be accessible, smile through our pain, lick our wounds, and get to a place of understanding. Resilience is something that Black women alone has to have embedded in them just to make it. Because if you don't have resilience in you as a Black woman, you're going to ultimately fail. People are waiting to look at you and say, I told you so. I knew it. Yep, not surprised. We don't get a break. We don't get an opportunity to have an off day. We don't get a chance to just be normal for one day without having to worry about judgment on our backs. That's my little break for a little minute. Let's get back to our cards and to our Black History facts. Phyllis Wheatley, 1753, and she died December the 5th, 1784. They're unclear as to what month she was born in. The first African American poet to publish a book in the English colonies. Was forced into slavery as a personal servant after being taken from West Africa in 1753. Learned English, Latin, Greek, and theology in addition to pursuing literacy work, which was a rarity in times where most slaves were forbidden from learning to read or write. Published her first poem at the age of 13 and continued to put other works into printing, including her most famous work, Poems on Various Subjects. Penned several poems in honor of George Washington and was invited to meet the commander in chief after he was moved by one of her works. Eventually found freedom and married, but never escaped poverty due to the struggles of living during the Revolutionary War. Phyllis Wheatley. Okay, this next person, this next person is someone that we are all familiar with because in school, I don't care what school you went to, what state, what city, whatever, everybody had to learn about one specific Black woman in our history to the point that some parents is like, y'all know it's other people that has done things in Black history, right? But we can never forget this one. That's Rosa Parks. What's that? I'm sorry. Rosa Parks, born February 4th, 1913, died October 24th, 2005. She was a civil rights advocate and the mother of the freedom movement, an early activist and NAACP member who worked to free the Scottsboro Boys in 1930s. Refused to give up her seat to a white man on an Alabama bus in 1955, a key event that helped kick off the civil rights movement and the Montgomery bus boycott. Co-founded the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development to help youth reach their highest potential. earned more than 40 honorary doctorate degrees and hundreds of medals and awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 1997, Parks became the first living person to be honored with a holiday. Let me tell y'all something. I get so annoyed when people talk about Rosa Parks, and the only thing they can say about Rosa Parks is, oh, that's the lady that didn't give up her seat. Rosa Parks was so much more than a woman who was tired from working one day and wouldn't move to the back of the bus to give up her seat. She was so much more than that. And I want you all to remember that Rosa Parks was so much more than that. She did so much for her communities. I'm from Detroit, and she lived in Detroit up to the day she died. Rosa Parks is the example of what a resilient and strong woman is. Please make sure when you speak about Rosa Parks, you understand she's not just a woman that didn't give up her seat. Audre Lorde, Audre Lorde, born February 18th, 1934, and died November 17th, 1992. Poet, feminist, womanist, and civil rights activist. Learned to use poems to express her feelings as a result of difficulty communicating as a child. Worked as a professor in the 1950s and 1960s, where she furthered her self acceptance as a lesbian woman and influenced students to think more deeply. Empowered African American women, sorry, empowered African American women living in Europe to become more conscious through an Afro German movement she started in Berlin. Poetic and prose work written by Lorde dealt with the personal issues, feminism, civil rights, and the Black female individuality. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Audre Lorde. Assata Shakur, born July 16th, 1947, and she is still with us to this day. Civil rights activist and a member of the Black Panther Party, regarded as a hero for her protests against racism and her role in the 1970s Black Liberation Army. Community advocate who helped the poor by organizing a Freedom Breakfast program and health clinic. Became the first woman to be placed on the FBI's most wanted list after escaping to Cuba from prison, where she was serving a life sentence for the 1973 murder of a police officer. Many people believe Shakur to be a political champion who is innocent of the criminal accusations against her. This is Miss Shakur. I don't want to mess her first name up because I always mess this woman's name up anytime I say it. So sorry. Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth are my two favorite women I learned about as a child. So I went to Hutchinson Elementary School in Detroit, Michigan, and Black history was in our DNA. There was not a time that went by in Hutchinson Elementary on the east side of Detroit that we did not learn about our Black history. We had people like Mr. McLean, rest his soul. We had people like Mr. Brown. We had Miss Brown, um, Walker. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I can remember a lot of my teachers' names who taught us about Black history. We had our Black history poem. I mean, not poems. I'm sorry. We had our Black history dances, our Black history programs. It was a proud moment being in that school. But we didn't just learn Black history. Hutchinson Elementary School was the first place that I even learned how to speak Spanish. Spanish. That elementary school to me was a school about making you well-rounded, if I'm being honest. Even Miss Bunn, my 5th grade teacher, she was big on making sure that we were rounded in everything we did, and she wasn't even Black. But when we used to learn about Black history, I got excited learning about Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth because I looked at them and I said, "I wanna be like them when I grow up." Strong, fierce, powerful, independent, and magnifying. Sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox. I'm getting on my soapbox. But Harriet Tubman, born in 1822 and died March 10th, 1913. Escaped slave abolitionist, I said abolitionist and armed spy during the Civil War. Escaped from slavery and began freeing her family members through a connected network of safe houses called the Underground Railroad. Led approximately 300 slaves to freedom in the North during her lifetime, earning her the nickname Moses. Served as a soldier, American spy, cook, and nurse in the Union Army during the Civil War. Continued to work in support of the women's equal rights and the right for a woman to vote until her death in 1913. John Brown shared his plans to raid Harper's Ferry with her. She was buried with military honors in Fort Hill Cemetery in New York. I'm going to add one more thing that recently just happened for Harriet Tubman, or should I say, General Tubman. She was given the rank of general by President Joe Biden. That was a powerful day, in my opinion, because if we didn't honor people the way that they should have been honored because of the times when they were here, it's never too late to try to correct it. And I feel as though that's what they tried to do, or that's what they did, because Harriet Tubman did everything, probably more than what a general in her time would have done. So, Harriet Tubman. All right. So we're gonna talk about Michelle Jean, or this might be Michelle John. You know how Jean could be John or Jean. I don't know, and I'm sorry because ma'am is still with us to this day. So if I said it incorrectly, I am so sorry. She was born September 6th, 1957, and is still with us to this present day. Haitian born former journalist who was appointed Governor General of Canada by Queen Elizabeth II, serving between 2005 to 2010. She was the third Secretary General of the Organisation International de la Francophonie in 2015 to 2019. That's a tongue twister for me, y'all. Nothing about me is French. That's the one language I never tried. French and Italian won't do it. Which worked to promote the cultures of regions where French is the first language. Became the first Black person on French television news in Canada during her work as a news reporter and television host. Worked with her husband in the production of several documentaries, including the award-winning Haiti dans tous nos rêves, Haiti in all of our dreams. That's what that means. A humanitarian who worked to assist victims of domestic violence recover through the coordination of the government-funded spousal support. Michelle Jean. I'm gonna guess it's John now because now I realize, yeah, she's French. They not like us. They not like us. Okay, I'm sorry. Serena Williams. Everybody know who Serena Williams is, right? If you don't, you're about to find out. Born September 26th, 1981. She is 3 years older than me. Okay. So And that will explain why her and Beyonce are so cool. Their birthday is 2 days apart. That's some Virgos for you. They some good people. Serena Williams is an American professional tennis player and philanthropist. Raised in a tennis focused family alongside her professional playing sister Venus Williams, four-time Olympic gold medal winner and ranked number one in the world singles 8 times between 2002 and 2017. Holds numerous records, including being a 7-time Wimbledon singles champion and a 6-time US Open champion. Currently, 2017 hosts the most Grand Slam titles in singles, doubles, and mixed doubles combined. Listed on Forbes' list of the 100 highest paid athletes and served as chief sporting officer for British luxury automobile manufacturer Aston Martin. Donates to and works with many charitable causes and is funding the construction of the Serena Williams Secondary School in Matuni, Kenya. Matuni, Kenya. Serena Williams, y'all. She listen, this woman is a beast. That's somebody I would love to meet one day. Misty Copeland, born September 10th, 1982, and currently is still with us. American ballet dancer, stage performer, author, and celebrity spokesperson. The first African American to be promoted to principal ballerina by the American Ballet Theater, ABT. Unlike most ballerinas, Copeland didn't start ballet training early. She began dancing at the age of 13. Copeland rose above at a difficult childhood to excel as a student and a ballerina. Recipient of many awards, including the Los Angeles Music Center Spotlight Award for Best Dancer in Southern California, the 2013 National Youth of the Year Ambassador by the Boys and Girls Club of America, and one of Glamour's Women of the Year in 2015. Authored book The Empower of Children of Color, including her 2015 book Firebird. This is Misty Copeland. Ida B. Wells, born July 16th, 1862, and died March 25th, 1931. Civil rights leader, feminist, crusader for justice, and former slave. Became an activist after being forcibly removed from a train in 1884 because she refused to leave her first class seat and moved to the back. Used her platform as a journalist to lead an anti lynching crusade in the United States in the 1890s. Formed the National Association of Colored Women in 1896 and later co founded the NAACP. Called the president, Woodrow Wilson, to put an end to discriminatory hiring practices for government jobs. Created the first African American kindergarten in her area. Fought for women's right to vote and tried to run for Senate. Raised awareness of oppression of women and African Americans to the US and internationally. Ida B. Wells. Now, what's funny about that, not funny, but what's interesting about that is that Ida B. Wells fought for a lot of things that we are currently dealing with right now in our current state. Ida B. Wells was a trailblazer for us. She made things happen. And there's a lot of people that don't even understand who Ida B. Wells is because we fail to realize that Black history literally is a part of our American history. People will talk about Susan B. Anthony all the time, but you don't hear about Ida B. Wells. There was a lot of women who paved the way to give us the right to vote, to give us a right to be at the table, to give us the right to even have just basic freedoms as women. Why don't we talk about them? All right. Next person, Diana Ross. Come on, Motown. I told you I'm from Detroit. I love my Motown. Born March 26, 1944, and she is presently with us. Singer, songwriter, actress, and 12-time Grammy nominee. Recognized as one of the most iconic singers of all times with a career that spans over 4 decades. Given a Golden Globe Award and Academy Award nominated performance in 1972, Lady Sings the Blues. Became the first African American woman to co host the Academy Awards in 1974. Named the Female Entertainer of the Century by the Billboard magazine. Declared the most successful female music artist in history by the Guinness Book of World Records in 1993. If you have never given Miss Diana her flowers, make sure you give Miss Diana her flowers, okay? Jackie Joyner Kersee. Jackie Joyner Kersee. I just love saying her name because her name just flows. But Jackie Joyner Kersee, born March 3rd, 1962, to the present. A track star, field athlete, and philanthropist. Ranked, sorry, excuse me. Ranked among the all-time greatest athletes for her talent in the long jump and heptathlon. Overcame severe asthma and went on to win 6 Olympic medals. Kersey was voted top woman collegiate athlete of the past 25 years in 2001. Voted by Sports Illustrated for Women magazine as the greatest female athlete of all times. Co-founded Athletes for Hope, which help professional athletes get involved in charitable causes and support their communities. Jackie Joyner Kersee. Miss Kersee, Miss Kersee, you deserve all the flowers, plus some. Thank you, Miss Kersee. All right. So we are going to go Miss Toni Morrison. So Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison, a lot of people may remember her, a lot of people may not, but we're going to talk about Toni Morrison now. She was born February 18, 1931, and died August 15, 2019. Award-winning professor, editor, and novelist. First African American woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature. Recipient of many awards, including the Pulitzer Prize, the NAACP Image Award, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Wrote many novels with strong African American women striving to survive in a white male dominated world as a focal point. Penned the award winning novel Beloved, based on the life of a runaway slave who killed her daughter rather than have her return to slavery. Morrison's Beloved ranks 26 on the American Library Association's list of most banned challenge books because of its thought-provoking content. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to read that again because I need y'all to understand how many things are being suppressed because people don't want it to be out there because it's too hard to listen to, it's too hard to watch, it's too hard to see. But guess what? It's reality. Morrison's Beloved ranked 26 on the American Library Association's list of most banned and challenged books because of its thought-provoking content. Yes, I'm talking about the movie Beloved too. If you go and watch the movie Beloved, it's the watered down version of the book. It's a good movie though, but it's a watered down version of the book. We already know the book always will give you better insights to what really happened than the movie will. Take Rosewood, for example. To this day, I can never read Rosewood book again because that book messed me up so much as a child reading that because I just couldn't believe it that this really happened to people. The movie, the movie was just as heartbreaking, but the movie was not as detailed as the book. If you never read that book, I need you to go read Rosewood. Listen here, any of my Black children, white children, Hispanic children, Asian children, I don't care who you are. If you have never read some of these books to understand what has happened and what got us to where we are right now, and why so many Black people are being suppressed and why they want to take Black history out of everything, go read it. If you're Black, you better read it because you need to learn your history. If you're not Black, you still need to go read it so that you can learn just how much Black people really dealt with. Because unfortunately, a lot of our children are not learning this anymore. So, because it's not available to you in school, you need to take a stand for yourself and say you want to learn. Because the only way that you can get better up here and better in here to understand the person that sits to your left and your right is to read about how they got there. That's my 2 cents for that. Sorry, let me move on. Sorry. Listen, I am strong about certain things, and that's one of them because we miss the mark so many times on our children because they're not getting educated anymore. Sojourner Truth. Y'all already know from earlier, this is one of my favorite people. Ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. Listen, I can whew, I can quote Sojourner. I love Sojourner Truth. That woman, I guess you could say she reminds me of my grandma. That's probably why I have such a strong connection to just understanding who Sojourner Truth really was. But anyway, born in 1791 and died November 26, 1883. Abolitionist and civil rights advocate. Escaped slavery in New York in 1827 and successfully sued for a return of her 5-year-old son with the help of an abolitionist family. Changed her name from Isabella Born Free to Sojourner Truth after becoming a charismatic religious orator giving speeches about the evils of slavery. Became nationally recognized after publishing an autobiography about her life. Worked alongside Frederick Douglass, but separated from his cause because he believed that men's right outweighed women's suffrage. Assisted in helping slaves escape to freedom in the North and organizing Black troops and supplies to the Union Army. Aided former slaves to find jobs and rebuild their lives through her work with the Freedom Bureau. Sojourner Truth. If you don't know about Sojourner Truth, go learn about Sojourner Truth, especially my young women. Listen, ladies, little girls, little babies, I need y'all to understand there is a lot of powerful women in our history, a lot. You all need to go out and learn about the women that came before you because then maybe that'll put you to a place where you can understand why things today is so important for us to hold on to and to fight for. You will never understand where you came from. I'm sorry, I'm saying that backwards. You will never understand who you are until you understand where you came from. And that's just period point blank. That's it. That's all. If you can't take a step back and understand how you got here, how can you become a mother and teach your daughter how to get to the next place? Educate yourself, ladies. Next person is Ruby Bridges, born September 8th, 1954, and she is currently still with us. Ruby Bridges is a civil rights activist and author. First Black child to disintegrate, Lord Jesus, to desegregate an all white elementary school in New Orleans in 1960. She and her family suffered cruel threats and mistreatment by protesters and community members who were against desegregation. Served as a head of the Ruby Bridges Foundation, formed in 1999 to promote tolerance and respect of all people, regardless of race. Bridges' struggle has been portrayed in many works, including the 1998 TV special Ruby Bridges and her own book, Through My Eyes, in 1999. Recipient of the Presidential Citizens Medal and the honorary degree for Tulane University. Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges. My seventh grade class that I substitute for before, we had a long conversation about Ruby Bridges because they watched the movie and they couldn't believe it. They're like, Miss, did this really happen? Yes, this really happened, guys. Is she gone? No, she's still with us. But this really happened. Our babies don't understand this. They don't understand this. But don't get me started. Y'all ready for this next one? I'm ready for this next one. Are y'all ready for this next one? Well, first, let me say this. I know some of these people have passed on that I said are still with us because this deck of cards was published in 2017. So these are facts as of 2017. Okay. So I'm going to correct myself on that right now because I already know some people are going to be like, no, that was incorrect. This has happened since then. So these cards were published in 2017 and it's now 2025. So we're talking about what 8 years. Okay. But this next person, who would have thought that 8 years later, I am reading her card for Black History Month as one of our most influential Black women in history. And just months ago, people were trying to say she's never been Black. People were trying to say they never remember her claiming Black. People were trying to say that she is not Black. Our next person, y'all, is Kamala Harris. And for those who still don't understand how to say it, it's a comma and an Allah. Kamala Harris, okay? Born October 20th, 1964. Her and my mama the same age. Oh, sorry. That makes me so excited to know that. Because I'm like, Ma, did you know that you and Kamala's the same age? She's like, no. But born October 20th, 1964. Kamala Harris was the 49th Vice President of the United States of America, the first female, first Asian American, and first African American Vice President in the history of the United States of America. She was a United States Senator of the state of California from 2017 to 2021. She graduated from Howard University in 1986 and earned a law degree from Hastings College in 1989. Author of 3 books, including Superheroes Are Everywhere 2019 and The Truths We Hold, An American Journey in 2019. She was the first woman and African American district attorney in San Francisco, serving from 2004 to 2010. Kamala Harris. I'm gonna have to check these date on these cards though, because the thing says 2017, but she didn't come VP as 2020. So these cards might actually have been published in 2020 or 2021. I'm going to confirm that and I'm going to correct it on my next story. All right. The next person is my soror. My soror. Hattie McDaniels. McDaniel. I always want to put an S on the back of her name. Born June 10th, 1895, and died October 26th, 1952. Professional singer and actress, songwriter, and comedian. Became the first African American to win an Academy Award when she won the Oscar of her portrayal of Mammy in Gone with the Wind in 1939. Appeared in over 300 films and was the first African American woman to sing on the radio in the US. Has two stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and was the first Black Oscar winner to be placed on a US postage stamp. Involved in several community service projects, including providing entertainment for World War II soldiers stationed at military bases and raising funds for the Red Cross. And of course, I'll go ahead and add in there, and she is a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Hattie McDaniels, y'all. Y'all see her? You see her? Isn't she beautiful? Hattie McDaniels. Our last person that we are going to read about. Actually, we're not. That was it. So, because I'm running out of my time and I don't want to sit here and continue to go on and run out time today. But today was a day of understanding. This show was about the Black history being our history. Female Black history, Black women being an intricate part of our history. For anyone to ever say or ever think or ever even feel like Black women are not an important part of history, let alone Black history, means that they don't know anything about history. If you are someone who believes in understanding the entire picture and seeing the whole circle, the whole square, the whole triangle, the whole hexagon, whatever shape you may be living in, if you're someone that wants to understand the whole story, that means you're someone that wants to understand history and learn. Black history is just as important as Asian history, Hispanic history, Islander history, white history, Native American history, Korean history, and anyone else I may have forgotten in this whole, because there's a lot of different histories. The point being is that all of our different histories make up the American history here. Because we do have people from all backgrounds that have been born into this country. So to sit here and take away from one is taken away from all of us. I sit before you today as a product of Black history and women's history to say we are a part of our American history. We will continue to be a beacon of light to strive for greatness in the America that we all so love. Be the change that you want to see. I don't care if you have $5 to your name. I don't care if you don't have a car. I don't care if you have never went to school. Do something in your capabilities, within your capabilities, to make sure that you're contributing to the positivity and the history that our children need. Because our babies need us. Their generation will be failed if we don't continue to do what we need to do and pick them up, educate them, love on them. It's your job. It's my job. It's our job. If that's a message that you continue to miss, then that means that this message was never for you. That means that you don't see a positive future. You don't see a future where we all are together trying to figure this out for our children, not because you, her, him, them, whoever they may be, feels a certain way about somebody else. And if you're one of those people, I will continue to pray for you.